Adjust your...
Now we're on. Yes!
How are we? So you...
Yeah, hi. Yeah, peace and love, baby.
So you've been...
So we're here. You all know why we're here, right? Yes. We're promoting this book, Photographs Ringo. This is weird.
Wonderful book.
Yeah, thank you.
Right here.
And what are you going to do here?
I don't know. I thought I'd watch you.
Yeah.
So you've been touring like never before.
Yeah, I'm touring. I love to play, and so it's a bit awkward just me and the drums, so I have to have guitarists and piano players, and so we're on tour again.
Which is great. I mean, this is the most
great.
I've seen you tour, I think, ever.
It is. It's sort of built up, I started putting Ringo and the All-Stars together in '89, and it's gone on from then, but I used to have a break, and I used to change the bands all the time. Right. The All-Stars, but this band we've kept for over 3 years because I love this band. You're in a band, you know what that's like.
Yes, I do.
I used to be in a band. And we're doing it all the time.
That's great. So anyway,
next we'll be playing weddings.
Good, I got one coming up.
So
well done.
So somewhere along the way here,
talk about the book.
You made time to do this book.
These chairs are so cozy. Excuse me while we talk about it.
Let's start with.
Let's start with this.
We picked a bunch of the great pictures out of here.
Steven picked these photos.
I picked these. This is one of my favorites. I don't know quite how you took the picture, but you're going to explain that one.
Well, yeah. I got to be honest, like 4 or 5 I didn't take. But it showed like the history of Ringo. That was why. And that's Rory Storm and the Hurricanes.
Which is very important, actually.
Yeah. And as you can see, we wore suits, and the front line liked to dance.
But also, they at some point they decided to do Western names. Well, wasn't it? I mean, everybody.
Well, when I was working in a factory at the time, but in 1960 we got this job for 3 months, so I left the factory, and we all changed our name, and I changed mine to Ringo Starkey, which didn't really work. So I thought Ringo Starr and add a star. I thought it was really inventive. So, in that other picture, I think it was stuck on with sellotape, or did they have it in the 60s?
Don't change the pictures till I tell you. Whoever's doing it.
And Ty O'Brien and Lou Walters. We all thought they were cowboy names, but mine was Ringo Starr. And the guitarist, Johnny Guitar, he kept his name.
So it wasn't just a ring thing, it was also
it was a ring thing because I'd been wearing rings mainly with my mother's influence. She loved sparkly things, and so do I. But, the neighborhood I came from, the area I came from, and the city I came from, Liverpool, if you had sort of, something going on, so people started to call me Rings. Hey Rings, hey Rings. I mean, one of my friends was the hatchet man. He carried a hatchet, and so if you did anything strange, you got a nickname given to you by people.
Yeah. So some people don't know it went from Rings to Ringo because of the Western theme that Rory Storm and the Hurricanes adopted.
Well, I love Westerns anyway. I mean, deep inside I am a cowboy.
Yes, you almost have. Okay, so here we are. Where are you here? This is Hamburg?
We're in a club. We played some club, and that's, George, of course. I think that's John with his head off, and Paul, and me, and I love the way this girl is looking at Paul. Yeah, he's gonna get lucky. We were all hanging out because we played the same venues and we played the same songs.
But this is before you were in the band.
So no, I wasn't in the Beatles then. Look,
you're still in the Hurricanes at this point.
Yeah, I'm still a hurricane with a beard and my hair back, and
you were
before I got that call. you want to join the band, and can you shave your beard off?
So you were switching sets with them, right? Was it the Kaiserkeller, or where was it?
It was in the Kaiserkeller in Germany. Well, they were at the Bambino, and then Rory came, Rory and the Hurricane, we came, played the Kaiserkeller, and then the guy owned both clubs, and then he put them on the same club. And at weekends, we'd do 12 hours a night between two bands, and that's how we learned our chops, really.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how I got to love them, and we got to know each other.
All right. I thought that was important. Moving on to Paul as a Frenchman.
You're wearing more rings than I do.
Well,
Look at you.
Trying to keep it up,
Yeah.
Paulie as a Frenchman.
Yeah, he's a dedicated follower of fashion. Yeah. They were in fashion in the 70s.
That's where I kept them since the 70s. Back to Paul as a Frenchman here.
Oh, yeah. I took that. Well, we were hanging out, and we had a lot of downtown. I just was lucky I had my camera. I mean, this is a photo shoot, but then I would use the guy, whoever the photographer was, he'd put lights up, so, I would shoot as well. So that one is mine. But Paul had this habit that wherever we went, he would become like French. We're in France here. And if we went to Denmark, he'd become Danish.
All right, moving on. I like this one. This is a great one.
This is like totally relaxed, and no one else could have got that shot really at the time. But maybe you guys down there could try this. His knee is down here. His foot is up by his shoulder. Can anyone do that? You can do that? I don't care how much yoga you do. I don't know anyone who can do this. That was just like his. He just thought it'd be this bit. Hello.
Just relax.
Hello. Yeah, everything's fine, thanks. It's like 4 hours.
We don't know what record that is, but
yeah,
we'll figure that one out. All right, next, let's keep moving here. He's got so many good ones. That's a good one.
That's a great one. That's relaxed. Yeah, that's Murray the K. Some people will remember Murray the K. He sort of broke the record in New York, and he had like a crazy show, and he came on tour with us and did his radio show, and then had a nervous breakdown. I mean, it was a lot of hours he put in.
Yeah, great. Moving on. That's a cool one. This is great in Abbey.
Yeah, they've written a song. We can't really see what song that is, and it looked good with the mic. And okay, well, you do the verse, I'll do the chorus, whatever they're saying. It was just something to do, really, because we were
early
there
days.
with downtime.
Dressed up for the studio, very nice.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. That's Wilfred Bramwell, a very well-known British actor in the Shakespearean mode. And this was on the set, of course. And, I had my camera. That's all it's about, really. I had my camera, and he was doing his...
And was it because you were already into taking pictures that they put that scene in Hard Day's Night with you going around, or was that a coincidence?
Yeah. The scene where I walk along the bank, dejected, with the camera.
Famous scene.
A famous scene, and I got so much credit for that scene. But in all honesty, I came directly to the film set from a nightclub, and I was pretty derelict and dejected, but Dick Lester was so great. And, they tried it, because we did have all the camera crew and everyone there, where this woman would shout my lines. Started with the kid, and he'd say, "Oh, what's Ringo? What are you doing?" And I'd say, "Well," anyway, they'd shout my line at me, and I'd say, yeah, it's great, And so Dick said, well, let's just walk around and look dejected. Well, that wasn't hard. I'll tell you that. I felt just, And, it became one of those big scenes. It's the magic of movies.
Was the camera your idea?
The camera was, no, it was Dick's, taking a self-portrait. And then we got lucky, it fell in. You know what I mean? You can't plan it. So,
all right.
That was in that movie. movie.
Great movie, Hard Day's Night, for those of you who may not recognize it.
The Ad Lib Club.
And here's Ringo as a surfer here.
That's John and I on holiday in Tobago, I think. In the Caribbean.
Is that real money?
Playing Monopoly.
Oh, Monopoly money.
People used to think, wow, they must always be doing something big and great. You know what I mean? We were just like hanging out, playing Monopoly. And that's great because I remember as a kid, Johnny Ray, if anyone remembers, the little cloud that cried, he played Liverpool. And he did two things. One, he was on a veranda in this hotel, and he was throwing photographs down. That seems good. That seems like I'd like to do that. And then my friend Roy and I followed him, and he went to a Chinese restaurant. And I remember to this day, we were looking in, and I said, he's eating just like a real person. And people have that idea of us, like we're always doing something like crazy. And we're watching TV, we're having dinner, or, we're not answering the phone to Steve.
I love this one. Look at this tape recorder.
Yeah, well, this is
modern technology.
Modern technology at its finest in those days, where we got this real tape, and we plugged it into this setup. Though was in the hotel room in Japan. We were in Japan there, and I wish I knew what was on that tape. I don't remember anymore.
All right,
but it seemed like it was worth playing. Now this is the first selfie ever taken. Ever. I did it first. Yeah. All selfies are the same.
It's kind of an in-between hairstyle.
Pretty good though. Yeah, I went to college for this hairstyle.
Half the old style, half the new.
A cigarette, always a cigarette. There's either a drink or a cigarette or a camera in your hand.
Now this is interesting because
the Manilans were in Manila, and God knows what they were happy. I just took the picture.
Which was maybe the last time you saw a smile in Manila, as I recall.
Yeah, it must have been as we arrived, because they didn't love us when we left.
Everybody remember that story? Well, everybody knows. Okay.
Yeah, bring it all up. I'm the one who have to deal with it. Yeah.
Well, we enjoy it from a distance.
Everybody. Peace and love, Manila.
And shoes, lots of shoes. All right, moving on. Now you're getting artistic. I love this one.
Yeah, it's great. We're in India, but I did like the tricks that a camera could do, and this is the fisheye lens. And the fisheye lens was huge in those days. And what I love about it is that because it's us, they're sort of relaxed enough to pose a bit, and it's not like tense. And we were looking at some old wall there, and I took the picture. And look, they've got cameras. We've all got cameras, and and I've spoken to Olivia, and everybody else has heard what I've said. That we should. I spoke to Paul also, find his cameras, his photos of the day, and Yoko can find John's photos, and Olivia has started the search for George's photos, and we can put another book out. It's all for a good cause. It could just be for charity. And the best thing about using their photos is I'll be in more of them.
That's right. And by the way, all this goes to a good cause. We should mention that, by the way.
It does go to a good cause. It's all for charity, the Lotus Foundation. But this is Neil and Mal. They were the two guys who looked after us through the whole deal. We had one car, and we had 2 rooms in every hotel, and we had 2 guys who looked after us. He was the gentle giant, Mal, and Neil just made sure we got on stage in time. We got out of bed. Yeah.
Neil went to school with Paul, right?
He did, yeah.
And
Mal, like me, never went to school. But he was big, but there was no violence. He was like, excuse me. He's like this gentle giant. He's a beautiful guy.
Neil would run Apple for many years.
Yeah, look at that cat. That's a really happy cat. It seems, you get lucky with shots like that. I mean, you can't say to the cat, no, pose. He's just like,
oh, yeah, I just
what are you doing?
I just threw that in there for a little contrast. Yeah. Okay, moving on.
Peter Sellers and I back to back, and he was throwing a tea party. That's his house, and we did the movie together.
Yes.
And that was that. But I think I may have put that, because he loved cameras too, Peter. Yeah. He loved taking photos, and I think we may have, with a bit posy there back to back. We could have put it on the timer.
Which one did you do Candy with, Peter? Which movie?
Magic Christian.
Oh, Magic Christian. Right.
Yeah. Right. No, Candy was Richard Burton.
Of course. Moving on. There's some.
That's my son and John's son. That's Zach and Julian, and John and I would play dads, and we'd take them out. And
fabulous, huh?
And we'd do that dad thing. We had kids. And just one funny story, we were trying to, in England on November the 5th is bonfire night and fireworks and craziness. And so we went and bought these fireworks. We were going to show our boys a firework display and everything. And anyway, it's no secret that we used to like a bit of Bob Marley. And so, we were like stoned, and we'd start lighting this thing, and they all started exploding. And our children watched their fathers run for their lives. So, yeah, but this is a quiet day. We're on the River Thames.
I love the fact that their hair is messed up perfectly the same way.
Yeah.
It's a very, artistic. Okay, moving on. Oh, it's a good one. I like this one. This is.
Oh, yeah, that's a self-soap. That's, proves I used to eat. That's breakfast, yeah. Thank you, Lord.
All right, moving on.
Nothing better to do. I'll just photograph myself eating.
That's Paul dressing like me.
Well, Paul, you see. Sometimes he got it right, and sometimes he looked like that. And we're in India there, and he was keeping the sun off his head, and that's a sort of an old northern way of protecting yourself with a handkerchief, tie knots in the corners. It's the actress Jane Asher. So yeah, not a lot we can say. There's George, and he's in a good mood that day. So it's good.
All right.
Another lens, you see. The prism lenses. I love the prism lenses. And they were doing this stuff, and I was shooting the shoot.
Yeah, this is more in that 66, 67 period, right?
Yeah.
All right, moving on. There he is.
I was a cowboy in a Western. I was the son of the real bad guy, but I was even worse because I was like the brother, the young brother's always crazier. But the horse, never ridden the horse, we're in Rome here. They were like teaching me to ride for the movie so I'd be like comfortable. Anyway, the horse they brought for the movie, the horse would be like there, and I'd have to and then I'd run to the horse, I'm going to get on the horse. Anyway, the stirrup was eye level. So then they'd have to cut, and they'd lift me on the damn thing. It was like, 20 feet off the ground, this damn thing. It was the biggest horse anyone ever saw. So that's the magic of movies. So that's what that is. There's Harry Nilsson and I. Yeah, I'd let my beard grow a bit though. And I produced a movie called Son of Drac, and Harry was Dracula, and he was a blonde guy, and the thing of the movie was that he was Dracula who sort of takes the cure and goes off with the girl into the sunrise, and we thought, wow, that's a great idea. And we opened in Atlanta, the only first movie since Gone with the Wind. There was 12,000 people, there was kid bands playing, police looking after us. Harry and I left, and so did everyone else. And we could only show this movie in towns that only had one cinema. because if they had 2 cinemas, everyone would go to the other cinema. Wasn't my biggest success.
We'll hope for a re-release on that one.
Keith Moon, me, and Harry again. We were 3 great friends, and we spent a lot of evenings together. And we were at a fancy dress party, I think, there. Otherwise, God knows what's happening. Yeah.
What was the film?
That'll be the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that?
That kind of a look. I don't know. It looks like that kind of
It
look.
looks that look. See, you know more than I do, and I'm in it.
Just saying. I don't think Harry was in it.
Well, Harry wasn't in it.
He was hanging around, though.
Yeah.
Right? All right.
Yeah, they're the Polaroids of my darling wife,
Yes.
Barbara, having fun on Polaroids.
Beautiful.
That's so
Beautiful.
great. Yeah.
UFO. All right. Nice.
UFO,
Nice.
Yeah, this Steve Gadd's at the back there.
Right, great
We were
drummer.
in Montserrat at the George Martin studio, and it was somebody's birthday. And Barbara and I were there, and they had a house, I was going to play on the record, so Barbara and I flew in. Paul was making the record, and they put us in this great house, and in the middle of the island somewhere. Anyway, we looked out the window, and there was a giant iguana. I mean, giant. Like as big as a rhino. And anyway, that was enough for us. We went and slept in the studio. We were terrified.
I think Paul was recording there, I think, at the time, right?
He was, yeah.
Playing on Paul's record, I think.
Yeah, I played on several of his records,
Yeah, right. Moving along here.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
I love that image of me.
This
Very
flamenco.
Just playing a guitar in the middle of the country somewhere, one of the homes I've had. And I think Pete Drake gave me that guitar. When I went to Nashville to do that Nashville record, Bookers of Blues, he gave me that guitar.
Very famous steel guitar player.
Now, what chord am I playing? Come on, you'll pretend to play guitar.
That's beyond me.
Yeah.
Too advanced. I only know 3 chords. And
Oh, yeah. Carl Perkins.
Carl Perkins.
God rest his soul. There's Clapton and George and Dave Edmunds and I
see a few Stray Cats.
Slim Jim.
Yeah.
The Stray Cat, and forget his name, the bass player.
Lee, I think.
Lee, something Lee.
I forget.
I mean, I was pretty fashionable there, brother.
Looking good, baby.
Yeah.
Looking good. Yeah.
Anyway, that was
Carl Perkins.
Carl Perkins, one of my heroes, and I actually covered a couple of his songs with the Beatles, and so we did his special.
Very cool. Very cool. Only a couple more. This is the brother-in-law. The brother-in-law.
Yes, it's Mr. Joe Walsh, and who married Barbara's sister, so he's family now. And he produced a record on me in '82.
Oh yeah?
In 1982, called Old Wave. Don't ask. We thought we were getting against new wave, new wave music. And the cover, I've got this big, crazy haircut. Here's the first all-star band: Joe Walsh, Nils Lofgren, Levon, Jim, Dr. John, Billy Preston, Rick, Clarence.
Clarence Clemens.
Yeah, so I kept calling people. They asked me to do this gig. Do you want to put a band? And everyone I called said yes. There was like an orchestra, So I was so nervous. We had 3 drummers. I was one of them. Jim, my hero drummer, Jim Keltner, and Levon on the other side. 3 drummers. So much fun. That's it.
That might be the last one. I think that's the last one, right? Yeah. So that's just a small portion. Of the wonderful pictures that you should.
Soup song.
You should buy this book, and it goes to, where does the money go?
It goes to the Lotus Foundation, which is a foundation Bob and I started 12 years ago. It's quite a broad charity, from music cares to homeless people, to battered wives, to children with diseases, with people with addictive personalities. So it's quite broad. No, not you.
Oh.
So that's it. So if you're going to support us, that'll be great.
Yeah.
And if you don't, that'll be great. Peace and love.
Thank you all.
Thank you.